He beat me. Straight up. Pay him. Pay that man his money.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to week 3 of the Average Bros, aka Parlay Papas. I'm Andrew Johnson. This is my brother Garrett Johnson, and we're going to recap week 2 on how things went with our DraftKings lineups, see who had the better lineup, recap our picks against the spread, and then also recap the John Locke of the week, which seems like we're still lost. Still on the island.
I went back.
Gotta go back.
I went back.
All right, but this week turned out really well for the both of us, but Garrett took the W, had the higher score of the two. You want to let us know what you put up?
Yeah, I put up 182.78.
Wow.
Which it was a really, really good week for my lineup. I had some big hits. My stack worked this week. Our stack, because we both did
the
same
that's
stack.
Right.
The Wentz Samuel stack. It started really slow for us in that game for sure. I was worried, but Wentz ended up with 31.78. And Samuel ended up with 22.9, caught a touchdown, had a couple runs, did pretty well.
21-yard run. How about that catch he made on that touchdown?
He got crushed. Yeah,
he sure did. Yeah. He had a fantastic game.
Yeah, really good game. And then I went with Cup as well, which was another one of my big hits. 35.8. If I remember, you had Cup as well.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of similarities. I think we had 5 out of 9.
Can't fake Cup.
No, can't. And then St. Brown against us. What do you call it? The buyback.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, 42.4. He killed it. He had a big 50-yard run as well as 2 touchdowns.
They couldn't cover him.
Yeah, and we talked about last week the 8 catches. I just saw a thing. It was him, Antonio Brown. I can't remember who the third guy was, but the first 3 to ever do that. 8 catches and a touchdown. 8
nice.
straight games. Yeah.
Well, you talk about building your lineup. You start with a stack and then you bring it back with another player from the other team. You had 94 points between those 3 players.
Yeah, that's big.
It's a good way to start.
Yeah. What about
half your production?
Right.
Yeah. So same key points. Cooper Kupp did well for me. Carson Wentz and Curtis Samuel. Love watching Curtis Samuel play. Never realized how explosive he was. Only other, super bright spot that I was happy with the value for what I picked him, Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas had a nice touchdown catch, from a position where I didn't have a lot of money put towards it. 12.7 points. Very happy with that. Put up more points than my dud, Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
So.
I had a couple misses as well. We both had the same Bengals defense, which didn't turn out the way everyone thought it would with Dallas. And Cooper Rush. And then Javonte Williams wasn't terrible. My worst performance was 9.5 out of my running back Javonte Williams, but overall had a really, really good week. Both of us did. You finished with
I cashed on my lineups also.
Nice.
Finished with 149.48. And you talk about the difference between spending money on a player versus taking somebody a little bit less expensive. Jamar Chase $8,000. You took Amon St. Brown $6,400, and he put up 32 more points. So.
Yeah, getting value with the mid-round guys is
and with
crucial.
A good matchup.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
so.
And Detroit offense looks like it's going to be here to stay, so we'll have to see what happens.
So DraftKings so far 1-1. Garrett took week 2. I took week 1.
Back in it.
We also did the competition for Twitter followers.
Yep. Which I finished first. We had another gentleman finish second.
Game Changer Nick.
Yeah,
Shout out Game Changer Nick.
Game Changer Nick, whoever you are out there. He jumped in and got second. He was in the lead for a while. He had a good lineup as well.
Yep.
And then you ended up finishing third.
Yep. So both of us cashed. See how you folks can do next week.
Yeah, jump in it with us. Get some more people in there. That'll be fun.
Moving on to picks versus spread, which I don't know what you want to add into this video as far as something about how poorly you perform. But
I will say this: I've thought about when we do research.
Yeah.
The Undertaker sitting up is going to be in there, so look out for that when the day finally comes.
So many WWE.
So many 90s wrestling.
So far, year to date, I am 12-20, and Garrett is 10-22.
Brutal. Both finished 6-10 last week.
So hopefully you're fading us.
Yeah, it's been ugly.
Yeah.
It's been an ugly start. A lot of season left though.
That's right.
We'll get it together.
Just feeling things out.
Yeah, it's hard early. Early, it's hard. Usually you got to stay a little bit better than we are afloat to stay alive, but we'll be all right. We're gonna bounce back.
Yeah, got a lot of uphill to track.
Yeah, this week doesn't get any better. We'll talk about that later. The spreads there's some tight ones.
Oh yeah. And then the final spot was the John Locke pick of the week, which Garrett is 1-1 on. I am 0-2. So
we got to get on that.
Yeah, I will say to my defense though, the Cleveland Browns should have won that game.
Historical collapse.
Yeah, Nick Chubb takes a knee,
It's
or
over.
yeah, exactly. So that messed up my parlay.
Yeah, it's
for
funny
Harrington
when
also.
people always talk about like the going down kills your fantasy, but it also kills other things if you don't.
That's why they do it.
Yeah. Brian Westbrook, first one to do that back in the day.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers that.
Fantasy owners were so mad.
Yeah, so mad. Yeah.
All right.
But we'll be back. Bengals didn't finish the Cowboys off like I thought they would. That was mine, so didn't hit that either. So 1-1, 0-2.
Yep.
We'll be back for next week.
All right, hopping into week 3 lineups for DraftKings. We'll see. Garrett and I are going to compete. We're 1-1 so far. Garrett with the big week last week, almost 190 total points.
We both have hit big weeks though. So DraftKings has been our shine in the light so far. We've been doing well with DraftKings. So if you're listening to anything, maybe listen to this.
Yes. Yeah, Drew, if you want to kick it off.
Yep, I went with a stack. I went with I gave you a little flack for this early on in the year. I went with the Kirk Cousins stack.
You like that?
Yeah.
You like that?
Kirk and Justin Jefferson, of course. Jefferson did have a down game last week, but they're not going to be all the time, obviously. I think Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, 1 and 2 in the league.
Yeah.
Going against Slay on Monday Night Football was tough, but Detroit's given up a lot of points, 38 and 27 to us, which could have been more if we a couple of plays here and there.
Yep.
I like the stack of Cousins and Jefferson a lot. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game.
Detroit has given up a lot of points their first 2 games, and that's who they're up against, right?
Yeah,
Are they on the road
38 and
or
27. They are at home.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that stack. That's a good way to start things off. So you got Jefferson and Adams as your top 2. Where do you put Cup?
3.
3? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No love for Cup.
3 is really good.
Yeah.
I used to see some people as top 5s. A lot of these podcasts, like I'm an Athlete and all, Pivot and all that.
Yeah.
They did the top 5 receivers over, and a lot of guys were leaving Cup out of the top 5.
Oh, wow.
Which is crazy to me.
Man.
Yeah.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, blasphemy is right.
So starting off my stack, I was looking at the top salaries this week. I had a pop up on my phone. Quarterback Josh Allen, 8,200. Kelsey at 7,600 for tight end. 9,900 for Cooper Kupp, and I think 9,000 for Taylor. So a lot of really expensive. There's been a lot of really good offensive football. But I watched the Monday night game of Buffalo against Tennessee, and I don't know, just it's hard to shy away from Josh Allen.
About that too.
Josh Allen's so fantastic, running the football, distributing to all his receivers.
8,300.
8,200.
8,200.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I went, spent a lot of money on my quarterback this week, which I haven't thus far, but I went with the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs stack, because Diggs is that man.
Yeah, you can't stop him.
Catches the ball near the sideline, lowers his shoulder on the cornerbacks. He's angry.
Yeah, can't stop him. And
3
even
touchdowns.
without, they didn't have Gabriel Davis last week, and he was still putting up
If
numbers.
Gabriel Davis doesn't play again this week, then I'd emphasize Stephon Diggs because,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought Crowder and McKenzie would be more, but they didn't even need him. They were just going to Diggs over and over and over again. Knox had a bigger game, but offensively, you're right. Josh Allen he's on another level.
I think I saw Knox on the sideline at 1.2 with his ankle.
Yeah,
so,
he was.
Yeah, so Allen Diggs is how I started.
I like it. Running backs, jump in there. I went with David Montgomery. Had a resurgence. That slot game week 1 is hard to really hold against them when they played San Fran. He had 122 yards in a game that wasn't very close the whole second half, so they wasn't getting a lot of carries, but he had a good game, and I think they're going to lean heavy on him. They got to do something in Chicago, and feeding him is going to be big. And at 5,900, I feel like it's a good play.
It's a very good value.
Yeah.
I started off my running backs with David Montgomery as well.
Really?
Yep. I do like the cost. I was listening to another podcast where they said even with the Bears trailing late, they went to David Montgomery. He has the most rushes over 10 yards a carry this season.
Nice.
So, it seems like he is a very important part of their offense.
Yeah.
And for the cost.
And against Houston, who's given up big games on the ground already this year, I think it's a good play.
Absolutely. Yep.
The other back I went with was, and I think this is going to be his time because I was reading about Dameon Pierce for Houston as well, going against each other. But he had all the Texans running back carries last week.
Nothing for Burkhead.
No, and they emphasized, Lovie Smith emphasizing getting him involved more. And the Texans I think are going to be a lot better than people think. Lovie Smith's a good coach, and they're going to keep him in every game. Davis Mills has been doing stuff that we talked about on here. But at 5,000 for a guy I think this is the game where he's going to take the leap and be the number 1 guy the whole time.
Nice. So you're bringing it back.
Yes, bringing it back. That's
Nice.
right.
And is this where we shout out Josh Kress?
Nah, we're gonna leave him off this one. He didn't make the cut. Davis Mills.
All right, so Montgomery and Pierce as your running backs. I think I saw that Houston has the bottom of the league worst ranked defense against the run this year, which is another
Taylor killed him week 1.
Yep, another emphasis for David Montgomery.
Yep.
Second running back I went with Miles Sanders. I think the cost for Miles Sanders at 5,500 going against our defense. How good the Eagles looked on Monday night. Miles Sanders looked good. I think, and I hate to say it, I think that the Eagles have their way with us. I think Jalen Hurts is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think
He's just getting better.
Yeah, I think Miles Sanders is going to benefit from going against our defense, which I think is 29th against the run this year.
Yeah, and they're giving up catches to the back too. Swift had a touchdown off a catch where he fell down and didn't even get tackled.
Oh yeah.
So as much as I don't want it to happen, it's looking that way.
Yeah. So I went with Montgomery and Sanders, 5,900, 5,500. So I can.
Yeah, so we both kind of did similarities. We found some value in the running backs.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I know.
So I wonder what you spent on your wide receivers.
Oh, well, Justin Jefferson was my big one, 9,300.
Okay.
But my next guy was Tyreek.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
7,600 going against Miami.
Buffalo.
Buffalo. Yeah, it's gonna be a shootout. I feel like again. And if you remember the playoff game last year when he was in Kansas City against Buffalo, they had a hard time stopping him as well.
He waved goodbye to somebody.
Yeah. I think that was even the season before too. But he had 11 for 190, 2 touchdowns last week, and he was targeted 13 times. They threw it a lot because they were down. But like I said, against Buffalo, I feel like that's going to be a big-time shootout type game.
Yeah.
And Tua has arrived. I doubted Tua early. I said I wasn't a Tua believer, but he's got me now. And McDaniel's just doing great things with him.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the key. You got a young quarterback that's fringish. Just get him a young offensive mind and let him go, and that's what seems to be working so far. So Tyreek at 7,600 is my second receiver.
I love the pick. I almost put him in my lineup because, quarterback stack for Buffalo. My bring back, I had to save a little bit of cost, so I went with Jalen Waddle. Very similar stats to Tyreek last week.
Yeah.
They're both fantastic.
You have the same thought. It's going to be a lot of scoring.
Yeah. Yep. I'm hoping for a lot of scoring. Otherwise.
Yeah, especially your lineup.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But who doesn't want to see a lot of scoring?
True.
But I was torn between Tyreek and Waddle. The only reason I went with Waddle was the lower cost. Similar, skill sets. But, Waddle for my second one.
Nice. All right, my third receiver, I keep doing it, going with Skins receivers or Commanders receivers. Jahan Dotson.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, touchdowns in his first 2 games, 2 in the first one, 1 last game. At 4,600, I feel like it's a steal at this point. He's putting up numbers.
He has 7 catches, 99 yards, 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns, yeah.
So,
and we're gonna. I feel like you said earlier, we're gonna be down. I think we're gonna have to throw it a lot. And it's hard to find a receiver that's that productive this early in the season that's in the 4,600 range.
Would you rather have him in your lineup or Samuel?
Probably Samuel, but the cost.
Yeah.
The cost didn't work.
It's the same thing I was torn between.
Yeah, the cost didn't work.
I'd rather have Samuel. I feel like Samuel's getting
more
targets
too.
He's explosive.
He's getting 2 or 3 carries every game as well.
Yeah. But Dotson is making crucial third down catches, touchdown catches, so still averaging 18 fantasy points a game off of not a ton of touches really.
Yeah, not a lot of targets in general.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of weapons though. Finally, for once, it's hard to keep going at him so early.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. I think we end up, getting down at some point, and Wentz has to throw the ball a lot, so that works out in the favor of fantasy. I rounded out my wide receiver staff with Devonta Smith for Philadelphia. I know week 1 he did not score anything.
He didn't have anything.
I think Monday night he has 7 catches for 80 yards. I think they, put an emphasis on getting the football to him. The highlights that I saw, he seems, he's fast.
Yeah,
I don't know if our guys can keep up with him. We'll see how it goes. It's picking against our team, but
I went back and forth with trying to make a lineup with AJ Brown for that reason.
Yeah,
because
who's going to guard him?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to be in for a long day unless they figure something out.
Yeah,
but I like it. They're going to score.
Yeah,
we're bad defense and they're a good offense, so it's going to happen.
Yep.
Tight end, I went with Jawan Johnson. Cheap because you got to find a cheap guy here and there. 2,900, but he He has 40 yards in both games. He's had last week. He had 4 catches, 7 targets. Troutman, the other tight end, is non-existent with Jameis, and this seems like this is Jameis's go-to guy.
He likes Jawan.
Yeah, he was a former receiver, so he's got good hands. So I went with Jawan at 2,900. I feel like that's a good steal.
Who was he a receiver for?
He was a receiver in college.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, transitioned to a tight end.
Gotcha. 2,900.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
cheap.
We'll see what you get out of that.
Yeah.
My tight end position is really similar. I didn't have a whole lot to spend, so I went 3,100. Irv Smith Jr.
Yeah, caught a touchdown last week.
Very similar to Devonta Smith, though. 0 action in the first week. I was reading about him, and it sounds like he, came off of an injury last year. So I don't know if week 1 was kind of, getting his
He's a
feet
former
wet.
first-round pick too.
I think he had 3 catches, 45 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
If I remember right. So hopefully, same idea as Logan Thomas last week. Just hoping that the low cost, he scores a touchdown, and then it makes it worthwhile. But yeah,
Yeah, it's you got to take risks somewhere, and tight ends is I feel like the place to do it.
Yeah, and going against Detroit, who's given up a lot of points.
True.
So
Very true.
never know.
And then flex. I usually try to my flex. What I've been doing is going to third running back. I ended up going with the 4th receiver this time.
Okay.
I went with Garrett Wilson, who's had
Nice.
a huge week last week. 5,400, not too crazy high. Had 8 catches, 102 yards, and 2 touchdowns, but was targeted 14 times.
Yeah. Wow.
So Flacco finds his guys and likes them. Flacco's elite again. So
Yeah, he is.
I'm going Garrett Wilson.
30-some fantasy points for Flacco last
Yeah.
week. And I think from what I was hearing, Garrett Wilson's skill set is just like, you see it and you know it's there. It's
Ohio State, those wide receivers. Brian Hartline, you remember him?
Yep.
Yeah, the Dolphins receiver. He's the wide receivers coach at Ohio State.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like Terry, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, all these guys that
a lot of
have come
really
out.
talented guys.
Curtis Samuel, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, tons of guys recently have come out from there.
Yeah, the DraftKings pricing has kind of shifted from Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, and
Yeah.
Wilson, and Wilson's up top
Yeah.
now. I put together some lineups where I had Wilson in there and tried to squeeze him into this one, but couldn't just due to cost, but I like the pick. Who are they playing? The Bengals.
Yep.
Who have had a tough time, too. I finished off flex with one of your wide receivers, Jahan Dotson.
Yeah.
That was the one where I've got remaining salary and my whole lineup is $100 left. If I could get Curtis Samuel, I would, but I like Dotson at the cost.
Do you go with the spending everything, or you just
No.
you try to make it work as best as you can?
I feel like that can kind of mess with your
Pigeonhole you
mind.
a little bit. Yeah,
Mhm.
I do that at times, and I've spent everything this time. But,
Yeah.
But I sometimes will leave a little bit here and there.
Yeah. Because, it's just like what we were talking about with Jamar Chase and Amon St. Brown.
Right.
I spent more money, but you got way more, 4 times more value for
Right.
what you picked. So, you want to finish her off?
Yeah, defense. This was a hard one this week. I feel like with a lot of the spreads being so close, you think a lot of the games are going to be tight.
Yeah.
And the scoring and the late scoring in games last week was pretty crazy. But I went with Panthers defense at 2,600. Jameis, I think, had 3 picks and a fumble last week.
Yeah.
Saw the Devin White interview where he's like, Jameis threw 30 picks here. We knew he was going to give it to us.
Yeah.
So Panthers, they're going to control the clock. It's going to be probably a low-scoring game, I feel like.
Jameis is like a Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Gunslinger.
Highs to highs and lowest to lows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so 2,600, I feel like that's a pretty good price.
Yeah, definitely. I finished mine off with Philadelphia. Everyone should boo me. Yeah. But I just see
Because
this.
it's hard to scoring yourself a lot of times. So.
Yeah. Well, I figure you and I will be at the game. If
Yeah.
we're at the game and it doesn't go the way that I think and we're absolutely crushing them, then I don't care about my lineup.
Yeah, exactly.
But if it goes the way that I think it will and they handle us, then
Winning
I'll
some
be in
money
good
will make you
shape.
feel a little bit better.
Yeah, a little bit. But that's okay. Yeah, I feel like Wentz tends to hold on to the football. They'll get some points for sacks. They'll get some points for turnovers. Who knows? Maybe a pick 6. It's just hard to tell. I do love our weapons. I hope that I'm wrong, but $2,200 for Philadelphia. Even if they have a moderate score, it won't be bad.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you see Slay shut down Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
2 picks, so.
Yeah, fade Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I probably would say that too. Terry had a good game against him last year, I think it was, or might have been his rookie year.
Oh, yeah.
Slay complimented him on Twitter and everything, but yeah, it's tough. He's locking down Justin Jefferson. He's probably in for a long day.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how things go. G's 1-1, just to recap, and we'll post a link for
jump in the link. Let's
for the
get
league.
as many as we can in there this week.
See if you can take our money.
Yeah. See y'all. All right, on to our pick'em versus the spread, which has not been good to say the least. But we're gonna do it again anyway. We're gonna improve. I improved last week. It was pretty easy too.
I stayed even.
Yeah. So hey, we're going up.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what happens. Stick with us. We're gonna be all right. All right. First game: Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers. And the line is at Cleveland -4.5. I'm gonna go Cleveland -4.5. Pittsburgh and Trubisky haven't shown much. Even though I thought I believed in them, it hasn't been right. They gotta get Najee more into the offense. Cleveland hasn't looked good except for the collapse.
Yeah.
They were dominating New York, and then the last 2 minutes just let it slip away. I know it's on the road, but I'm gonna go Cleveland -4.5.
Okay. Yeah, that game is difficult to pick. I do think that, well, I don't know. I guess in this, I don't really know which way to go, but I guess in this instance, I'm going to take the home team. I'll take Pittsburgh. I'll take the 4.5 points. I don't know. Brown's going to Brown.
Yeah, probably. I'm not confident in this game at all.
Yeah. A
I
tough one to pick.
Yeah, like you said, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
This one's just a dark brown, you know?
A lot of them have been that way.
Yeah.
Dolphins,
Exciting Thursday night football.
Yeah, like Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Dolphins, Bills. Miami's getting 5.5. I'm gonna still take the Bills -5.5. I think the offense is too much. Miami did look really good against Baltimore, but Baltimore's defense is not the old Baltimore's defense.
Mm-hmm.
That was a heck of a comeback, but I think it's Diggs and their weapons are going to be too much. So I'm going to go Buffalo -5.5.
I agree with you. I'll take Buffalo -5.5 at home. You've seen Josh Allen, right?
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
it.
he's so good.
So
And was Buffalo's defense ranked #1 last year?
They were up there.
So
They're
they
on
have
the top. They got 2 really good safeties and Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. Yeah, Edmonds linebacker. They got stars on every level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be a fun game to watch, but yeah, I'm taking Buffalo at home.
Yeah, I like it. Patriots, Ravens. We went against the Ravens last week. I think Lamar, I saw he's wearing a sleeve on his arm and didn't throw today. This is a tough one, but I'm going to go Ravens -3. Ravens at home. New England has done nothing offensively for the first 2 games, really. They beat Pittsburgh last week, but I don't know if you saw they had that huge play before the half to Aguilar was the only really big play of the game. If Lamar is good, and even without Lamar, Huntley has done well.
That's true.
And the few times he's gotten in.
Yep.
So I'm going to go Ravens -3.
Yeah, I'll take Baltimore at home also. Last week, we did make the lucky pick with Miami coming back and covering the spread on a game where Baltimore should have won. But, with Lamar's running ability too, I think they'll be able to handle New England at home.
For sure. You want to do the next 3?
Yeah, so moving on to Commanders versus Philadelphia. Philadelphia winning by 6.5 or favored by 6.5. I'm definitely taking Philadelphia. I hate to say it. I think I've taken the Commanders both times this year, but I think Philadelphia is just a better football team. I could see them winning bigger than just a touchdown. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I'm rolling Philly.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. It hurts me to do it, but 22-0 down to Detroit. What's it going to be to Philly? Our defense is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Jack Del Rio's got to go.
What's Riverboat Ron doing?
Riverboat Ron is just being so loyal and then gambling, going for 2 at random times.
Yeah.
Riverboat Ron's on the thinnest of ice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we're going to just dive into Commanders forever. I'm going to just go Philly. Hopefully it's not a bloodbath. Philly Philly -6.5.
It sounds like a lot of the analysts think this is the year of Jalen Hurts.
Yes,
so.
and it started that way.
Next one, Colts versus Kansas City, and the spread is only 6.5 on this also. I'm definitely taking Kansas City. I will probably bet heavily on this
I was
game.
surprised it was that low.
Yeah.
I was thinking like last week with the 10 and
Indy was blanked by Jacksonville.
Yeah. There was a lot of big spreads last week. I can't see why this isn't that big already.
I love Kansas City in this one. You'll probably see the lines start to move.
Absolutely.
But I'm taking Kansas City in this one.
I'm doing the same. Indy has looked dreadful. Matt Ryan's looked dreadful. Saving graces if they can get Taylor going, but Kansas City should beat them by a touchdown. So
yeah, I've heard a lot of talk about for DraftKings 2 stacks of Mahomes and Kelsey in this one. I'm not sure what their cost is, but that could be a really good one as well.
Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna go Kansas City at home.
Nice. Next one, Carolina versus New Orleans. Carolina is getting 3 on the road. So what's the rule of thumb generally? When they get 3, it's like an even game. The home team always. Yeah. And in this one, I'm going to take New Orleans to bounce back. I like the home team. I think that between Kamara and Jameis, if Jameis can control his turnovers, they can win at home. Michael Thomas has looked great. Resurgence of him.
Back,
So
and New Orleans is just different at home. They're one of those teams that is very hard to pick against at home.
Yeah.
And Carolina they've played close games, but like you said, pick them, go with the home team.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Saints.
Nice.
All right, Tennessee and the Raiders. Titans Raiders.
0-2.
Yeah, this is a end of season game right here. Whoever loses this one probably is not going to make the playoffs. 0-3 is a very hard hole to come out of, especially in the AFC West like the Raiders are. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go Raiders. Raiders -2 at home. Again, very small spread. I'm gonna take the home team.
Yep.
Raiders did look good. They let that Cardinals game slip away from them.
Yep.
Kyler running around like a crazy man for you said one play was 21 seconds long. He was running around for 21 seconds.
Man.
Yeah, just
I saw a bullet he threw into the back of the end zone.
I don't know how he threw it in there.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go Raiders at home. -2.
Fastball right in the back of the end zone. Yeah, I mean with this one here, and I think I saw the Raiders fans were like popping champagne in the crowd. And
one of them smacked Kyler in the face. Did you see that?
No way.
Yeah, he like jumped in there to like celebrate or whatever, and the guy hit him in the face.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
This one also, when I was going through my picks at home, I asked my 4-year-old daughter Quinn for her weigh-in on it, and she said Raiders.
Yeah.
So I like the home.
She's probably gonna end up doing better than us.
Yeah.
We'll put her stats up here after she.
I may go through and ask her all the games and see how she fares.
Man,
but
embarrassing.
Or maybe I should ask her about my John Lyon pick of the week. But I'll take Las Vegas at home as well.
I like it. Vikings Lions. Lions at home. Vikings -6. This is gonna be a tough game. Detroit is, I think, improved. Like you said, it hurts. They beat us last week, but they played pretty well so far. Their offense is putting up points. It's just hard to pick them with the defense giving up a lot of points as well. And I think Justin Jefferson has a huge game. I think Kirk has a big game. That was my DraftKings stack. So I'm gonna roll Minnesota -6.
I'll play contrarian on this one. I'll take Detroit getting 6. Minnesota wins. Maybe they win just by a little bit. Yeah. Detroit is just so fun to root for with Hard Knocks.
Yeah. Golf's a good
Dan
dude.
Campbell.
Yeah.
He shouted out one of their linemen.
It was like it was his 6th or 7th year. He'd never started a game before. And
Looked like he was bullying us around.
He was.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Lions at home, and hopefully they're able to keep Kirk under control.
All right. Bears Texans. Big Texans guy now with Lovey and Davis Mills. They're getting 3 at home. Chicago looked dreadful against Green Bay. And they won that sloppy game against San Fran and Trey Lance, which I don't put much stock into. I'm going to go Houston at home +3.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. When in doubt, take the home team. I think in this one, I'm going to take the Bears. I'm going to take the Bears giving up 3, hoping that Justin Fields can do things with his legs and that David Montgomery can break off big runs against the worst run-ranked team in the league. So I like the Bears on the road.
All right.
Moving to the next one, the New York Jets versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Man, looking at this game, yeah. Generally, you put your push it all in and take Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But
Flacco's lead again changes everything.
Yeah, man. Jets are getting 5 points on the road. I'm going to take the Bengals to right the ship -5. They can only be wrong about them so many times.
They gotta get it together.
Yeah.
And they have so many weapons. I don't know. The Jets have a decent defense. Sauce Gardner is really good as a rookie. He gave his first touchdown, but he's really good.
Who did the Jets play week 1?
We picked against them in a lockout.
So Jets won last week in comeback fashion when they should have lost.
They lost.
Oh, the Ravens.
Yes.
Jets should be on too.
Yeah.
Bengals should win this.
Yeah, the Bengals are 0-2 though.
Yeah, but they played a good Dallas Cowboys defense.
Yeah.
And then they played a Steelers defense with TJ Watt.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Jets defense ain't good.
Yeah. I'm go Bengals too.
Yeah.
Bengals -5. Yeah, trying to talk
Persuaded
myself
you.
into the Jets for some reason.
Yeah, which is cool.
When you got,
Who do you
want
wanna
to
win?
You just try to
The
talk yourself into
goddamn
the Jets.
Jets.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go Bengals. They got to bounce back. Jamar Chase too good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Moving on, next one, Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Green Bay Packers. I saw Buccaneers sign Cole Beasley this week.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Mike Evans will play, if
He's
Godwin will play.
Mike Evans suspended. They held it up, so he's not playing.
Okay, his appeal didn't go through. No. Yeah, so
James
not
Thrash
very many
was
weapons.
was the arbitrator.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I read that today.
Nice. Versus Green Bay, man, hard to pick against Tom Brady. So Bucks, can they run the ball with Fournette, and can Tom use what he has, and they can pull off a W against Green Bay? Or is Green Bay? I'm gonna take Green Bay at home. Green Bay +1.5. The way they ran the football.
Yeah.
They play Sunday Night Football. Yeah, they handled the Bears. Aaron Jones looked fantastic.
Yes.
I had him as my captain and some of my DKs, so it worked out well. But yeah, I'll take Green Bay at home.
Yeah, I'm doing the same as well. All the questions at receiver for Tampa. The offense is obviously not the same at this point. They kind of always seem to start slow with Tom. The couple years they've had him.
Yeah.
Green Bay looked really good, and I think they're realizing like that offense is going to run through Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
They try to get cute sometimes and go to AJ Dillon too much, but Aaron Jones is just a playmaker every time he gets the ball. So I'm going to go Green Bay at home +1.5.
He's got some pretty badass shades.
He does on the sideline. Yeah, I like that. It's Hollywood.
So next one, Los Angeles Chargers versus Jacksonville Jaguars. Chargers -7. Justin Herbert, is he going to play?
He's questionable as of right now.
Yeah.
I've heard that he was going to play, but
Yeah.
you never know.
I'm going
It's
to.
early.
Last week I went with Jacksonville over Indy. I'm going to roll with Jacksonville again. I feel like the game that we went and watched, James Robinson, ETN, their receiving core, Christian Kirk has had
He had two
big
touchdowns
games.
last week too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm taking Jacksonville at home with the points, and if Herbert doesn't play, then
I think you can lock it up.
yeah. So I've got Jacksonville.
20 years since then.
I'm
We
not
haven't
gonna
been
go
too
that far
strong
yet.
in the
It's hard
last
to
few
say.
years.
I got
we've been
Jacksonville.
strong.
Oh,
We're
wow.
just
Sounds
playing
like
by
last
the
week.
rules.
We got
You
there.
can't have a
What do you mean?
newcomer
Last week
come
you didn't take me,
in
though, did you?
and steal the show.
It takes a long time for me to beat it into my head. They'll be all right. Trevor Lawrence, I think, is going to be good. They do have some good weapons. They're much better. Doug Peterson is a good offensive coach. But if it's Herbert, I don't see Jacksonville slowing them down because they couldn't really slow us down. We hurt ourselves with 2 bad picks, or else we would have put 30 or 40 on them.
Yeah.
We scored the first 2 drives. We had the ball of the game that game. I don't know about Keenan Allen, but I'm gonna go Chargers. Chargers -7.
All right.
Jacksonville's not one of those teams too. Like Jacksonville home game isn't like a Jacksonville home game. You're not like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. All right, Cardinals and Rams. This should be a good game. They always play each other, I think, pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
It's said to talk about the Rams at home. I said that last week. How it's not much of a home game as well because just that's Los Angeles for you. But -3.5. Cardinals pulled one out last week, but they haven't looked consistently good. I'm gonna go Rams -3.5.
Yeah. I'm going to do the same. Super Bowl champion Rams, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald at home, Matthew Stafford. I like the Stafford Kupp stack for DK also.
Yeah, he's got 38.5 points both games.
Yeah, it's just
DK.
you lock him in. You got to spend the money for him.
I
But
know.
and Matthew Stafford isn't a high cost quarterback.
No.
But he's definitely good to turn the ball over a couple times. But he's also good.
I feel like he turned it over a couple times when they played Arizona last year in prime time. Yeah.
So Rams at home for me also.
I like it. Seattle at Atlanta. This is a toss-up. The line is at Seattle -2 right now. Seattle, it's hard to tell. You thought, oh, they're going to be a little bit better. They beat Denver, but now you realize Denver's struggling offensively, especially in the red zone. And their coach doesn't seem to know what he's doing. Atlanta's played some tight games. They battled back, almost beat the Rams last week. A late pick by Ramsey closed it out.
Yep.
I'm going to take Atlanta at home +2.
I like it. I'm going to do the same. I like Marcus Mariota.
Peace up, A-Town.
I got to get Kyle Pitts in the offense more.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's such I saw some interview where asked him, and he's just such a team player. But he's a weapon. They need to get him the ball somehow.
Yeah, I was listening to something earlier where they said the routes he's running are just for cardio right now.
Yeah,
So
I
hopefully
don't
they
know.
target him and throw the ball his
do
way.
something.
Yeah, because it's making me fade him in DK.
Yeah. All right, Denver at San Fran. This game changes completely now with Jimmy G as the San Francisco
Sure does.
starting quarterback.
He looked good.
He looked really good, and
Yep.
he's always been a decent
He
quarterback.
wins.
Yeah, exactly. It's not flashy from time to time, but he does win. So I'm gonna go San Fran at home -1.5. I think just San Fran just basically to win the game. I think that's something to do. Denver has looked awful offensively.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson has struggled, not as much as I thought he would, but like I said, their coaching seems to be head scratching decisions and
Yeah. See how many times Peyton was calling for a timeout.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with San Fran.
Gee, I agree with you. I think this is the week we get off the schneid. I think anytime that you can pick a lot of home teams and that the spreads are low, I like San Francisco at home too. I like Jimmy G at quarterback. I like, getting Debo involved. And just like you said, Denver looks, not really complete on offense. So I'll go with San Francisco at home also.
I like it.
And, Monday Night Football, got a good game. New York Giants versus Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, 2-0 Giants.
Giants at Cowboys. Yeah, Giants are favored by 2 on the road. Cowboys performed well with Rush at quarterback.
Yeah,
and the
I
defense
was
is
dogging
strong.
them. Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I thought the Bengals would have their way with them.
me too.
I am going to take Dallas at home, getting 2 points. I think that seems like Rush can do enough with his running backs with Pollard and Elliott and control the game and score some points, and their defense has been really, really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I was thinking in the mindset of the offenses are kind of similar.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones struggles at times. Neither team has put up a lot of points. Cooper Rush is obviously the backup, and the person that's going to change it is Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons is going to make a play here or there, and I feel like Dallas is going to take it at home.
So you got
He's
similar offenses,
so good.
stronger defense.
Yes, I saw something about he has the most pass rush wins. He's got 15 pass rush wins over the first 2 games.
Wow.
Yeah, he's ridiculously good.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be like a middle linebacker, and then now he's just
Dominant pass rusher.
everywhere. Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Well, it sounds like we've aligned on a lot of our picks. We'll see how Garrett and I fare. Hopefully, we're both successful with me getting the slight edge. So far, seasonally slight.
Season lead.
Garrett's climbing. I've been stagnant.
Everyone's got the season lead on me, so it's only a matter of time.
Don't fade us this
Try
week.
make my move.
Don't fade us.
I'm coming.
All right.
All right, let's get into that John Locke.
Move on to John Locke.
Yeah.
All right. So, G's in the lead.
Yeah.
I have not stepped
You gotta
1 foot
get
off the
that.
island.
You got to get off that island.
You've left and come back.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Let's do it. Who you got? You go first.
So my pick of the week, which I'm going to do this on the fly because I did not come prepared for my John Locke.
This was actually, when I looked at it the first time, I was like, this is kind of tough. And then one jumped out at me immediately, and I was like, all right, that's got to be it.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, go with yours.
Let me go with mine.
Yeah,
I'll
go
take
first.
Chiefs -6.5 against Colts.
Oh, man. That's a really good John Locke
You
pick
can
of
jump
the
on that. We can roll
week.
together.
No, we can't do that. We've got to
You're scared. Who you got?
So I'll do this so you can boo me again.
Are you taking the Eagles?
I'll take Philadelphia Eagles.
Man.
John Locke pick of the week.
Dirty.
Man.
You're going to get off the island probably. As much as I hate it.
We'll see how it goes. I think we're both pretty set on that. I think there's a lot of good games to bet on this week.
Yeah, there are. And a lot of close spreads. The last week was the opposite, and we didn't fare so well. So maybe we'll do, like you said, take some home teams. We're kind of getting the gist of what teams are looking like. So we'll see. All right.
Finish off parlay?
Yeah, finish off with the parlay.
All right.
Go ahead. You go first.
So, parlays got to include the pick of the week. I did that last week. Garrett went up to Harrington. We put some bets in. I had Cleveland -6.5. I had, what were the other two? The other two hit Giants -2.5 and Dolphins +3.5. So Nick Chubb not going down
Cost you.
really hurt me, but that's okay.
My parlay was miserable. Commanders. Yeah, that's all you need to know. Straight garbage.
This week, I like both. I like Garrett's John Locke pick of the week, and I like my John Locke pick of the week. I think I'm going to go with both of those. I'll go with Philadelphia -6.5. I'll go with Kansas City -6.5. And then the third one, just to round it off, I think I will go with San Francisco -1.5.
I like it. Mine, Chiefs -6.5, San Francisco -1.5, And I couldn't do the Eagles. I think it's a great one. I think that's up there. It's one of the ones I would bet on.
Yeah.
I took Texans +3.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I know we picked different in that game. We'll see. But like I said, I believe in Lovie Smith, Damian Pierce, going to get a lot of the carries, keep it close, and they're at home. So we'll see what happens.
Nice. All right, we'll tune in next week. We'll recap everything, see how it goes. Hop into the DraftKings League that Garrett posts on his Twitter, and good luck.
See y'all.
Listen to me very carefully. There are 3 ways of doing things around here. The right way, the wrong way, and the way that I do it.